look so good on camera too. Look how shiny they look. These are so pretty looking. Cool, cool, cool. Hello from Las Vegas. It's time for cold brew. It's actually hot today in Vegas. Sun's out, spring's coming. We have a total of like a month, maybe 2 months of like nice weather before things get hot. So I'm really happy that I waited to do this kind of like cold brew test this week instead of last week because weather switched up really quick. And this is again part of the green tea drink down challenge that we've been running for the last 2 weeks. There are, okay, today's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days left to complete the challenge. Drink down 7 green teas in 2 weeks. Even if you haven't started yet, really, you know, you could knock things out in just a couple days. So I don't think it's a problem at all. But yeah, we're going to be tasting these green teas that I've been cold brewing overnight and then testing them beside their counterparts hot brewed. So what I wanted to figure out here is if it's worth it to cold brew tea. And we'll be able to do that by tasting not only the cold brew tea that we made, but also tasting it side by side with the same tea brewed the way that I would, you know, usually, which is just hot. So yeah, I got a shincha brewed, I got some hojicha brewed, which is Japanese green tea that's been roasted, which is why it's so dark. So even if it's dark, it actually is a green tea. And over here, a dragonwell, Chinese green tea, nice and standard. Since all of y'all were talking about shincha and dragonwell a lot last night. So let's start there. JJ, nice to see you. Steep Leaf Tea Shop, Robin, Mir, and Shiloh from Nev Erden. You're here to micromanage me, make sure that everything's okay. Our beautiful cold brew ratios that I borrowed from Shiloh from Nev Erden are here. So let's check them out. Let's see, which one should I try first? We can probably go from lightest to darkest, and I'm gonna guess that the dragonwell is the lightest, just based on the color, and also just the overall, you know, flavor of dragonwell, wouldn't you say? Yeah, just looking at the color intensity here, this is a 2017 dragonwell. Oh my goodness, I'm just gonna lay out all my tea scents to the world. Yeah, I bought this in 2017 from Verdant Tea as part of a big dragonwell research project I had at the time. I just wanted to compare like different origins of dragonwell, different levels of cultivars, different, you know, elevation, organic versus non-organic. I mean, I just went all out. And I went all out for like 2 sessions. So I drank all that dragonwell for 2 sessions and then I forgot about it. Or I really never forgot about it. I just kept looking at it like wow, I'm gonna do that again someday. I'll do that lineup again someday. And then 3 years passed and now we're in 2020 with really expensive cold brew tea. So there you go. If you are wondering what first pick dragonwell from Shifeng in China tastes like, I will taste it for you. So that you don't have to use your own money that you wasted yourself because you never brewed your teas on time. Good job, Ree. Okay, let's check this out. So again, I'm gonna brew, well, I already brewed the cold brew, and then I will also brew the tea that I use for the cold brew hot as well to test if I like it better hot or cold. I mean, I don't think it's a matter of better or worse. I think we're just trying to see what the differences are so that if you would like to try cold brewing as well, you would kind of get an idea of what to expect in terms of the flavor profile. And I've honestly never done a side-by-side like this of a tea that's been cold brewed and also hot brewed. Even if you're familiar with the teas that you've cold brewed before, it's really good to do these side-by-sides because it's easy to forget some of the nuances if you're not tasting something side by side. So let's try it out here. Hello as well to the Potter's Tea and Endalende. Okay, is that right? And then Francois from and Danielle, I imagine, from hojicha.co. We got your dark roast hojicha here. Look how beautiful it looks. It's a nice color. I'm getting myself out of the shot so I'm not disrupting the beautiful color of your hojicha. Really nice. So I can't wait to try that. We're going to be trying that and all the other teas, both hot and cold. And if you have a little bit of time, you know, some other green tea brewing techniques using a little bit of cool temperatures. Let's try this cold brew first. So this is a liter of water. We're using the Tea Curious water formula, but really soft version of it. I find that green tea does really well with soft water, and when you're cold brewing, I find that your water quality is even more important than when you're hot brewing, because all you're doing is just putting the tea in the water. So hard water will totally kill cold brew, in my experience, in my opinion. Test it out yourself, of course, but we get hard water here in Vegas, and if I'm lazy and just use hard water straight from the tap to make my cold brew, it just doesn't have a lot of pizzazz. So, and not a good color, because hard water tends to make things kind of look dark. So if you want this nice, beautiful, clear color, you want soft water. Let's try that out. 1 liter of water, brewed overnight, like 20 hours almost. 10 grams of tea. Ooh, you know what I should do? No, wait. No, hold your horses. I gotta shake this, because all of the flavor is on the bottom. Ooh, I almost ended the world right there. Okay. Alright. Make sure that's nice and distributed. And what I'm talking about is that usually, you know, the flavor will kind of sink down to the bottom. So you don't want your very first sip of cold brew to be tasteless. You want all that goodness up there. It's a beautiful color. You can see that the dragonwell has indeed aged, but that's why I'm doing this drink down, you know? Just trying to atone for my sins. There we go. Nice. I was talking to Shiloh a lot during this cold brew process. Shiloh from Nueva Orden. And I was like, I never do cold brew. It's just not my thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I never had these like really sexy like cold brew bottles. Now that I have them, I'm gonna want to use them more. But I just tend to really enjoy hot tea, even when it's hot. I'm not sure if any of y'all are like that, but you know, it's good to expand your horizons and stuff. Things that I thought I never liked, you know, sometimes I just end up liking. So I hope that you're open to that as well. And then let's do a brew of that dragonwell. I'm not going to measure this out. I'm just going to brew it the way that I would brew it, just typically, just so that you have a kind of real life example of what this would be like if you were to make it. Because I could make this tea with the same ratio as a cold brew, but I want just like a real life kind of like, what's it like to cold brew? What's it like to hot brew? Instead of like a experiment, you know? Okay. Then while this is brewing, we'll try the cold brew. I promise. I need some tea anyway. That's a little bit too much, but that's okay. I think I'm just... Green tea there! Green tea there! Just use it up already! Okay, let's go. So boiling water for this dragonwell. I love using boiling water for good quality green teas. I'll even use boiling water for Japanese greens. I'm not afraid of anyone, including myself, because sometimes it's not a good idea, but typically high-grade green teas will stand up just fine to hot water, even boiling. Okay, did I miss anything from my friends? Wow, we got a lot of my friends. Hi, guys. Lion, how's it going? One Man's Tea Journey, Friday, Cass.lem, Jess, nice to see you, Ness Olivale, how's it going? Having a nice cold brew jug is what got me hooked as well. Yeah, I mean, it just looks so nice now. Like, I used to use just like plastic bottles that I would just put the tea in and like just steep, but now that, you know, it just, yeah, I'm really happy. I think it looks good. And they kind of seal, you know, like I can't leave them just lying down, but I can actually turn them upside down and not spill anything. All right. For those of you who've just come in, this is a 2017 first pick dragonwell that I've been cold brewing for the last almost 20 hours. It looks beautiful. Now that's something like I don't know. I'm pretty impressed by that color. Any aroma? Yeah, it does have some aroma. It's very nutty, creamy, sweet. I like it. It's more aroma than I thought there was. Let's try it out. That's pretty tasty. It's very strong, actually. I'm impressed that it tastes so distinct and nutty and creamy and vegetal for a cold brew, because in my mind, cold brew I associate with being weaker than hot tea. That's actually really tasty. More of the, you know how dragonwell can be kind of toasty, it can be nutty, it can be creamy. More of the creamy, almost like vanilla-like flavors come out here. It's very, very soft, but still quite, you know, it's soft, but it's got some heft to it, you know, like it's not just a shrinking flower of a tea. So I'm actually very happy by this concentration, because I think, you know, my biggest issue with cold brew is I don't want overly weak cold brew. I want cold brew that actually does something. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Let's see. Let's try to see how the hot brew turned out. I'm not sure how long that was, but I'm just brewing it the way that I brew it, which is I don't even count the time if I'm just hanging out. So this is the hot brew of the same dragonwell, using boiling water. It's a much shorter duration of time, of course, but we're actually getting a pretty similar color, which is interesting. Quite nice. All right. So we're getting much more aroma from the hot steep tea compared to the cold brew. I mean, I like it. I mean, I honestly do like the cold brew. I'm not like falling over myself in like joy and universes exploding, but it's actually really, really, really good. Better than expected. What do you think, Steven? Pretty good? Yeah? That's actually really tasty. Good stuff. You know what? Yeah, that's really, really good. It's one of those teas that, like, you taste it, it's pretty good, but as you're drinking it more, you're like, wow, I could do with more of this. This is gonna be like a chugger. Is this why people make so much cold brew? I was even thinking of making like little 100 milliliter cold brews, because I just don't drink cold brew that much, but this is really good. Surprised. Good, good. Shiloh from Nev Orden. I found that slower cold brew infusions are more nuanced. It can have a hui gan that is surprisingly enjoyable and lasting after several sips. It's an interesting concept. Does cold brew have an aftertaste? I'm waiting. You know, it does have some returning sweetness. So what Shiloh is talking about here is the returning, like kind of like the sweetness that happens after you drink a cup of tea. You know, when you have really good tea, it just kind of hangs out a little bit. This cold brew does have it, and that's, I think, what you can use to distinguish pretty good tea from pretty bad tea. I haven't had an iced tea that gave me hui gan, you know, like I don't have iced tea that gives me aftertaste. So while I certainly enjoy, you know, a tall cup of like iced tea from the restaurant, only good tea has aftertaste from what I've experienced. And this does have aftertaste, so that's really, really tasty. All right. It's such a gorgeous color too. I'm a big fan of this color. Thinking about how to use this for service, you know, I might like hot tea, I might not mind warm tea, but especially here in America, we Americans love, love, love cold stuff. And during the summer, it's extremely difficult for me to get people to try hot tea. This level of flavor intensity and color and aroma and just overall presence is definitely good enough to get people to try it. If you have a friend who doesn't really like hot tea, especially if you're American, a lot of us like iced tea, this is a really, really good flavor profile. I'm really surprised. Good stuff. Good, good, good stuff. Okay, let's try the hot brew. Ooh, should I Should I preheat my cup? Yeah, let's preheat my cup. Because right now it's ice cold. So this is how I usually brew my tea. And now I'm interested to see if my choice to go hot instead of cold is better. Because again, I'm doing this with a green tea drink down challenge. I'm trying to find the best case use for my green tea. If, you know, it's hot brewed and it's kind of stale, I might even just dump it and make some more cold brew. We'll see what happens. I'm sure that as a hot brew, this tea would have just, you know, blown the cold brew out of the water, because hot temperatures will tend to bring out more complexity. But, you know, this is older. Surprise. I think that cold brewing will help you kind of hide a stale tea a little bit better. Just my guess. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I really much prefer the cold brew, I gotta say. So the hot brew brought out some of the, you know, bitterness and dryness. Maybe it's just because I'm having them one after another. But yeah, it's just not as friendly, you know? Some kind of like the old taste is coming through. Heat will extract complexity, right? If you want complex flavors, you're gonna use hot water. But I'm just not getting the profile that I want from this tea, which is a surprise to me. I don't remember the last time I liked the tea better cold than I did hot. Henrique, nice to see you from up north of you. See you and try this. Maybe it's just me. Wow, I'm surprised. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I want to just go back to the cold brew. Okay, so what's happening here? Yeah, it's dry. It's just not great. I know I maybe could have babied it a little bit better, but I just really dislike having a baby green tea. Just personally, in just the way that I brew tea, I don't like to drop temperature for Chinese greens. It makes me impatient. It makes me feel like there's something wrong with the tea. So, taking it out of the experiment perspective, what would you do in this situation? How is the best way for me to get rid of this green tea? And just realistically speaking, I'm not the type of person who's going to brew this tea again hot, because I have so much other good tea. But will I drink it cold? Yeah, especially since I can just toss it in the fridge, and when it's ready, it's ready. I can't imagine myself actually reaching for this dragonwell to brew it hot, you know? So I'm glad that I'm finding a use for it now, because I like it a lot better cold. Steven, do you agree with me?
Yep.
Okay. Because if you like it hot, you can just have it, but I like it better cold. Wow, that's great. That's a new check mark. All right. Back to cold. Oh, it's so delicious. It's a better tea when it's cold brewed. I'm so upset. See, I'm like, I don't even like cold brew. I know cold brew is so inconvenient. And now I'm like, wow, why don't I do this more? Okay, all right. That's delicious. Highly recommend. So what's happening is that a lot of the stale, kind of oxidized green tea flavors are just not present in the cold brew. And what's happening is, you know, a lot of the bitter compounds in tea get infused out the higher the temperature is. I mean, brewing is really complex, but there's a lot of we don't know. There's just so many volatiles, so many compounds to account for in tea. But in a nutshell, the lower the temperature, the less of those bitter and really, you know, they're partying hard, you know, they're partying hard, those compounds. The hotter the water, the harder they party. But, you know, these are like 2017 green tea. It's like, it's not a party anymore. It's like the morning after. They're like hungover and stuff. They don't taste very good anymore. So I think, you know, cold brewing just brings out more of that kind of sweetness, the depth, the texture. I haven't even spoken about the texture of this cold brew. It's really satisfying. You would think that it's thin, but, you know, I don't think cold brew makes texture an issue. You don't really sacrifice much, at least not for this dragonwell here. So yeah, I call that pretty dope. That's a clear winner with a cold brew, I would say. Not what I expected. And see, look at how nice this tea is. It's like beautiful, like individual buds. Someone's gonna call the tea police. I promise you guys all the time that I won't call the tea police on you. Don't call the tea police on me. Look how beautiful, like the little tiny buds and stuff. This tea was really, really good when it was fresh. And then I just didn't drink it for 3 years. So yeah, that's drink down number, like, I've gone over the 7 now that I need. So I'm pretty happy. Cool. Next one. We should do the shincha next. You guys agree? We're just going in order of intensity. So we started with the dragonwell first. Light, refreshing, actually really good as cold brew. It looks so beautiful. I should get like a little sling like the yoga babes have. Like just sling it over my shoulder with my yoga mat. Which is not a problem, but it's just, I don't look good with a yoga mat on me. And then shincha next. And then we'll do the hojicha last. And again, we'll be trying to compare the cold brew with the same tea brewed hot to see which one I like better. And with the dragonwell, I'm just gonna want to dump all of it now into a cold brew container. It's really good. Chris, how's it going from Next State Over? Web Orden, intriguing. I like the comparison between hot and cold brewing. Cold brew with high-grade leaf and good water is surprisingly complex and subtle. The flavor emerges in waves. I agree with that. Like I said earlier, initially I'm like, it's tasty. I like it. And then afterwards I'm like, wow, like I just want to dig deeper into it. It's a very subtle preparation for tea, you know, from the dragonwell. Like if I'm just drinking it on the go, I might not have realized how much I enjoyed it until I dug deeper into it. So I'm really impressed. And yeah, that's a win in my book to kind of change a perspective. I like that. Although sometimes I'm like, man, can I stop being curious already? Can I just enjoy tea and know a lot? When is that gonna happen? At what point do I just enjoy tea and know everything? And not change my mind or opinions about anything? Because there's nothing new to learn. It's not gonna happen, I don't think, anytime soon. It's okay. Alright. The next baby. Let's do the shincha. So cold, we'll keep the cold in the cold and the hot in the hot. I'll do one last sip of the dragonwell that's been hot brewed, even if I don't want to. No, I don't want to. Forget it. I'm just enjoying the taste of that. The cold brew and the sweetness actually is, you know, persisting quite nicely. I'm really enjoying it. So let's just brew this next baby. The shincha, brewed for almost 20 hours, 10 grams of leaf per liter. Again, it's pretty much the same, using the Tea Curious formula, but softer. So soft water, again, is key here. Oh gosh, I'm not good at this. Okay, maybe I am. Ooh, I forgot something again, gosh. See, so many steps. Remember to shake it so that the stuff on the bottom, the flavor that's sunk down to the bottom will come out to the top. Shannara, how's it going? Cold brew is so forgiving. Definitely a good idea to try using an older or stale tea that way instead of just tossing it. See, I would never toss tea. That's my problem. Even if it's just not my style of tea, I just can't stomach the idea of putting tea in the trash. So while I'm never in danger of tossing tea, I am definitely in danger of just letting it just sit and not do anything. So I'm glad that this cold brew option is opening up. Alright. Look at that color! That's a nice color. Oh my goodness. So this is a Kagoshima Shincha. It's a first harvest green tea that I bought in Osaka, which is in Kyoto Prefecture. In Osaka, like 3 years ago. Again, I don't know, I was thinking, first harvest green tea from a trip that I took, that I bought like weeks after harvest. I think the lady at the store told me they just finished harvesting the previous week. So you'd think I'd drink it. You'd think that I'd enjoy it. But no. I'm just a little bitch and I just left it. So now it's not new tea anymore. Don't be mean to yourselves. It's okay. Life happens. But I really do wish that I drank this tea earlier. This is a sentimental tea for me. I'm happy that I still have it. But, you know, it just kind of reminds me that I need to be more mindful about what I'm brewing or not brewing or buying, you know? I dropped a lot of money that trip. You know, I don't even got the ability to just drop money willy-nilly like that. Who does? Okay. And yes, I will brew this pretty hot. I will drop the temperature though. I usually just use boiling water, but just to kind of like model it how most people would brew it, I will drop the temperature a little bit, but not all the way. Sorry. So here goes the hot brew. And then I'm gonna pour the water in pretty gently, just to make up for it being pretty hot. Then I'll brew it with the lid off and brew it pretty fast. Yes, I do use gaiwans to brew shincha. So again, I'm just comparing how I'd usually brew it. You know, I do use kyusus for shincha, but sometimes I will use gaiwans. And then while we wait for that to brew, let's try the cold brew Kagoshima Shincha from 2017. It's a nice color. Really nice color. It's like luminous. See, visually, I think it's important to think about the visual impact of a tea. If someone brought this to me and was like, hey, Ree, you want some? Look how shiny it is. Like, I'd just be more likely to drink it. And I think cold brew, again, is one of those techniques you can use to get people excited to try something. Because hot tea has a kind of connotation of like, oh, I drink it when I'm sick, or my grandma drinks it, or something. Iced tea is more sexy, I guess. That's pretty tasty as well. I'm gonna let it sit, you know, on my palate a little bit longer, since I had the same reaction with the dragonwell. It's not like fireworks or anything. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's that really nice salivating effect you get from really, really good tea. You just, you know, it's just so quenching and refreshing. That's interesting. Steven from the Yoon Ceramics account, does a tea with a very distinct chi maintain that same energy if cold brewed? That's interesting. So what Steven is asking is, if a tea makes you loopy, will it make you loopy even if it's cold brewed? If a tea makes you tea drunk, will it make you tea drunk even if it's cold brewed? And you know, the answer is I don't know. Chemically, like compound speaking, the composition of a tea infused cold brew is, you know, significantly different from one that's hot brewed. Again, because you're not infusing as much of those kind of polyphenols, catechins, and caffeine, I think, are the compounds that tend to be extracted at high temperature. Don't quote me on that. This is what I think I remember. And those tend to be quite bitter. Which is why, you know, when you drop the temperature, it tends to be a little bit more sweet. But I've also heard from people who, you know, practice with tea that no matter what you do to a tea, it just kind of has the same inherent qualities to it. A tea that will make you happy will just always make you happy if you like it that much. If it's a tea that is kind of unstable, it's going to be unstable. So that's going, you know, a little bit into the kind of esoteric tea realm, but I mean, I exist there as well. It's just a little bit more difficult to talk about it, you know, but I would like to see, because there's certain teas that when I drink them, it's like instant, like, you know, like just no matter how bad the day is, the tea just pierces through and just makes it amazing again. And I'm interested to see if those same teas have the same effect if they're cold brewed, because I definitely have those teas. You guys have heard me blab about the Wild Mountain White that I love so much. The 2012 white tea that just, when I'm just like teetering, like life sucks, tea sucks, people suck, I suck, you suck. Like, I don't even know who's there, but you suck anyway. I have that tea and just, wow, like the sky is so blue. I don't even like it when the sky is blue, but I'm just so happy. It'd be interesting to see if I get the same experience if it's cold brewed. Yes. So the answer is I don't know. And we should probably test that. And for you guys who don't ascribe to that kind of stuff, I totally respect that, and I kind of wish I didn't, but I've experienced teas that just make me feel that way, so I just can't undo it. There's no undo button, you know? Once you feel it, you feel it. Lion, who's commenting right now, we've had some interesting tea sessions for sure, haven't we? Yeah. Shiloh saying, aged shincha, a paradox. It is a paradox. It still tastes pretty good, to be honest. Nice and green still, you know? Ooh, let me, when I brew my tea, I make sure to tap it so it's not kind of stuck and brewing itself. And then I tilt my gaiwan so that see all that? Look at that stuff. If you don't tilt your gaiwan while brewing shincha in it, that's what's over brewing right now. See that little puddle? It's like pea colored. Tilt your gaiwan so it kind of sits right there and it doesn't keep steeping the tea. Yeah, it's still good. So we'll try it actually. Don't take my word for it. It's Tea Babe. Hi from Vegas. I keep talking. Planet Pause, nice to see you too. Lion, now you've got me wanting to cold brew my Mui Sejak, which is a Korean green tea. Amazing green tea. I did Kyushu brewing, then bowl brewing, so trying cold brew will be a lot of fun next experiment. I agree. Even teas that you know really well change so much with the kind of treatment that you give them. Okay, yeah, again, you know, Nuev Order and Shiloh, it's so nuanced, and the more I drink it, the more I like it, which is interesting. It's not that interesting at first, you know, it's just green tea that's cold. It's just sencha that's cold. But as I'm continuing to drink this, I guess, I don't know, maybe more of the amino acids are building on the palate, because cold brew will have, you know, a higher concentration of amino acids because of the lower temperature. But it's just, I like it more and more and more as I'm drinking. It's just friggin' delicious. It's just really good. I'm just stupid. It's just, wow. That's interesting. So, yeah. I like it more and more. I wonder why that is, because I'm the kind of person who, if I like a tea, usually if I like a hot tea, I'll take one sip and I'm like, it's so good. It doesn't take me long if it's a hot tea. I almost know instantly if I kind of just in general, like if I like it or if I don't like it. But here, it takes a while to kind of get to know all the flavors coming through. They're definitely more subtle. So, you know, ironically, we kind of see cold brew as this new kind of like vogue, sexy thing to do in tea culture, but now I'm interested to see if I can sit down and kind of slowly get to know a tea that's been cold brewed. You know, ooh, my sencha is overbrewing still. Let me toss it out. Toss that little pea puddle that was sitting in my gaiwan. Yeah, I'm so relaxed too. I don't know if that's the L-theanine. So again, these cold brews have a higher concentration of L-theanine. And L-theanine is that compound that kind of like, it's the chillax one, you know, it's the really chill one. And I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I don't think my word count per minute has ever been this low on a live stream. I'm just chilling, which is good, because I'm always in a hurry. Okay. Good stuff. It's Tea Babe. Do you cold brew by setting ice cubes over the tea and letting them melt, or leaving it to steep in the fridge? How'd you know I did it? I am actually doing a cold brew with ice right now that I didn't tell you guys about because I wanted to make sure the ice melted before I told you guys. It's still melting, but yes, let's try this. This is actually the same tea that I cold brewed that I hot brewed and now that I'm ice brewing to see if there's a difference, okay? I don't want to touch that too much because that's going to be a very like kind of concentrated, soft, but intense brew. We'll try that after this. So nice. So yes, I do cold brew by putting ice cubes on top. I've heard it called koridashi. I've heard it called shinobi style. I've heard it called quite a few things, but it's a Japanese style of cold brewing, from what I understand. Usually used for shaded green teas like gyokuro or, you know, kabuse secha. Kabuse sencha, kabuse-cha, shaded tea, you know? Usually not shincha, but I just wanted to try it out with this tea so we could have 3 different tastes of the same tea. Good stuff! Ooh, really good. Okay. Let's try the hot brew. I really like this tea actually. Compared to the dragonwell that we tried earlier, I still like to drink this tea hot. It stood up pretty well for being a 3-year-old sencha. And yeah, I actually still do like it compared to the dragonwell. The dragonwell was just miles ahead in the cold brew, but this is actually quite tasty. Let's have Steven try it too so that you have more of a sample size. I also do it to embarrass him. Amy, nice to see you. How do you say good evening in French? It's not bonne nuit, right? Isn't that just good night? Good night. Yeah. So the hot brew we're comparing to the cold brew of the same sencha, and while the dragonwell just blasted, you know, the hot brew out of the water when it was cold brewed, this one, they're just different, you know? I do like it cold, I do like it hot, you know? Yeah, good stuff. So you are getting more complexity again, more aroma, more just notes, more tartness, more, this is a little bit of fruity, kind of flowery, it's got a little bit of everything, this tea. And there's more of it going on with the hot brew, for sure. And there is more aftertaste, I have to say. There's more of that kind of like sweet, almost, you know, what is that taste? The aftertaste of sencha. It's like fruity, but fruit grown by the ocean. It's got a little bit of seaweed going on, a little bit of salt. So lots of stuff going on flavor-wise, but texturally and just subtly, the cold brew has a lot to offer too. Yeah, they're both really good. I'm happy that this performs well in both cases. Just different styles. And then let us do what It's Tea Babe talked to us about. This is the koridashi or ice brew method. So I just put ice cubes in a kyusu, let them melt. I'm gonna show you how cute my ice cubes are though. I can't help but show them off. They're really cute. I got these star-shaped ice cube holders from, I think it was IKEA, during my mixology competition last year. So like little star-shaped ice cubes. Aren't they so cute? But I picked them because they have more surface area to infuse green tea with. So I don't think you can even see them. Here, it's gonna be slippery, but... What? God! There we go. Little ice cubes. I told you it's slippery, but they're cute. And because they're all like, they're more flat, they have more surface area for the leaves to kind of sit on. That's why I picked them. Not because they're cute, but also because they're cute. Both things are true. So let's compare the ice brewed tea with the cold brewed tea. So we'll do one more sip of this cold brew. Steven has some too. Help me. It's delicious. It's really good. So much sweetness. So much finesse. Really elegant. Really friendly. Now this ice brew. Let's see how it's different. So I haven't been infusing this very long. Wow, it's so thick. She thick. I've been infusing this over ice for about an hour, I think. And the ice isn't completely done melting yet. Okay, it's kind of hard to see. but you're getting a much different color from this than the cold brew even. You can kind of see how thick it is. You know, it kind of bounces a little bit more. And this again is a technique that's usually used for shaded teas to try to extract more of the umami and brothiness and just intensity from those teas. Shincha, you know, has a little bit different aesthetic, you would say. Usually people want to get like freshness and vibrancy and just springtime vibes from shincha. But with shaded teas, you want something really, you know, like intense, concentrated, umami brothy. So this technique was developed as a way to, I think, you know, bring out more of that by upping the L-theanine by a lot. Because amino acid is what causes that brothiness to happen. It's like butter. It's so good. Wow. Oh man, that has so much finesse. That's an expensive dish at a fancy restaurant, you know? I have a friend, my friend Cherish is like, you know the place is fancy when they have really big plates and really tiny amounts of food? That's what that feels like. It's so elegant, so structured. It starts out really tiny, and it goes, and you're like, wow, it's a buttery! Help me, Steven. I'm sorry, it's a spoiler alert, but you need to try this too. It's so concentrated. That's all I was able to get from that brew in the Kyushu. But man, it's just, wow. I've never seen Steven's eyes that big before. I'm just kidding. Maybe a couple of times, but you know. Wow, super good. Oh, that's delicious. See, I'm talking too fast. It just keeps expanding. So that's an interesting texture. It starts out small and then just blows up on your palate. You know, it just keeps going and going. You know, this is like eating Kerrygold butter with a little bit of herbs, like herb infused butter. This is what it reminds me of. You know, when you like cook butter really low and slow on the stove and you put some herbs in it? It's like that, but by the ocean again. It's got a little bit more marine thing going on. Lion, your question is how much tea versus ice did you use? I used 5 grams of tea to about 100 milliliters of water. I know because each of these little stars, I have some more of these little ice stars. Each of these is like 10 grams, a little bit extra. So if I use 9 of these and they're a little bit like 10 grams and extra, it's about 90 to 100 ml. I weighed them. So yeah, 5 grams to 100 ml of water. It's delicious. I've seen people use even higher ratios of tea to water with this, but that's really good. Wow, that's a showstopper. If you haven't tried that, please do it. Ice, put ice on top of leaves in a teapot and then let it sit, and then as the ice melts, it very slowly infuses the tea. It is so sweet. It's like really, really savory, buttery. Yeah, that's like milk oolong, if milk oolong could even. Wow. That's show-stopping. We should just end it here, but I won't, because we gotta do the hojicha. Wow. Wow. That's so good. There's still some more ice in here. Melt faster! Give it to me again. Wow, that's delicious. Highly recommend. I agree. It's so good. That's stupid. Okay. Alright. And even now, I just keep talking, but the taste is just going and going and going and going and going. Like me. I just keep going. Because it's really good, guys. Wow. I don't even want to drink this. The remainder of the hot tea. I mean, these are both so good. The cold brew and the hot brew were really tasty. It's just not standing up. I'm sorry, like, ugh. So this is important. When you serve this to people at your tea table, if you're hosting a tea gathering, doing a tea class or something, please make sure to do this kind of show-stopping stuff last, because if you brew a tea this good at the very beginning, either because the technique is really good or the tea quality is really, really high, if you brew your best tea at the beginning, the most impactful tea, it's gonna go downhill from there, you know? So yeah, I should have saved that till the end. That's so delicious. That now I mean, not even just experientially, but like logically speaking, the aftertaste is so good. If I brewed or served another tea after it, you're going to interfere with the experience of the guest or whoever is with you, because the aftertaste is still going. It's like, you know, you're like jamming to a good song and then someone just changes it on you. You're like, no! Right? Like playing Bohemian Rhapsody and then someone changes the channel. It's like, dude, if you want to change the channel, don't play it right now. Play it at the end when everyone's leaving and then let the song play, you know? Wow, good stuff. In a nutshell, that's delicious. I'm having a good night, okay? So sue me. No, don't sue me. Okay. Last little bits. I have never cold brewed hojicha before, I don't think. So I was really interested to see if I could make it well. So this is a dark roast hojicha from hojicha.co. It's a nice everyday hojicha. They have a lighter roast as well, but this one they kind of market as their everyday. Yeah, it's just a nice solid hojicha. And as many of you already know, hojicha is a roasted green tea. Yeah, it's just so hard to talk about another tea when you're still thinking about the other tea. You're still just like looking at the girl leave, the beautiful girl like leaving the bar like, wow. Boda Kopi, nice to see you. From, where was it again? Somewhere in Southeast Asia, far, far away. Good evening from Las Vegas, far, far away. We just drank some amazing, amazing cold brew shincha. And I'm trying to get myself out of bed to brew this hojicha or pour it out. I think it's going to be good, though. So, you know, I shouldn't linger too much in the last tea. So let's try it out. Again, infused with the same parameters. 10 grams of tea for 1 shebang of water. 1 liter. I forgot my metric system for a little bit. I'm just giggly. That tea was so good. That's how you know what tea is good. It just, it's so good. Help me. Wait, see, I forgot another thing that I was brewing. Oh my goodness. Steven, can you get the other? There's another bottle of tea in the refrigerator. It's the Pop Top. Shiloh, we wanted to test Neo-Japanese green tea's 30 minutes infusion. We gotta do that too. But I'm gonna go send Steven to get it. We'll try it later. But this hojicha, let's try it first. I'm sorry, if you're just watching right now, I'm just tea high. The cold brew with the ice was so good. It's just afterglow now. Ooh, so good, tasty. And then this is the hojicha that hopefully will bring me back to earth a little bit, because I'm just rolling. So good. You want tea to make you feel like this, you know? Not just giggly, but just have some kind of impact on you. Look at this gold roast. No, I don't want gold roast. I want the dark roast. There we go. Anyway, what are you guys brewing tonight? I haven't even asked. I keep forgetting to ask that question. What's brewing tonight for y'all? Far, far away. I mean, clearly I'm cold brewing. This is actually the first tea I've had all day. No, that's not true. I had some Thunder Dragon green tea earlier at work, brewed in a mug. I really like mug brewing or bowl brewing tea. It's one of my favorites. Okay. Oh, Steven's back already, so maybe we can just try it. There we go. So Shiloh, thank you for letting me know about Neo-Japanese green tea's method, which is a shorter cold brew. So this is the same shincha we're having a fourth time. And yeah, I'm just gonna swirl it up so that all the flavor that's going on will be going on, and then we'll try it before we move on to the hojicha. So what's different? So this one was brewed overnight, my friends. Same tea as this here. This was brewed with the same amount of tea, but just an hour. So, you know, maybe 45 minutes actually. So this was an idea from Neo, Japanese green tea. You might have seen a lot of his stuff online. He does a lot of like Japanese green tea shenanigans as well. He's a vendor. And yeah, apparently Shiloh, this is his ratio that he uses. Faster than I usually, you know, do, but it's very green for being just 30 minutes. I'm pretty impressed and I'm pretty excited to see how this goes. Okay. Cool beans. Let's try it out. Last one before I move to the hojicha. So this is fast brewed green tea. I'm surprised by how much flavor is in there. Dude, that doesn't taste like it's been brewed just 30 minutes. If Steven did it, I would be like, are you sure? But I brewed this just, you know, 30 to 45 minutes before now. So I'm pretty impressed. Holy crap, it's really flavorful. I wonder how so much flavor is coming out with such a short brew. Just 30 minutes. And the intensity of the color. I mean, these are the same teas. This is overnight. Okay, let's use my wall to show you the color a little bit better. And this is 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes. And yeah, I would say that the color is much different. So, wow, maybe it's just a time saver. You know, if you want to cold brew something really fast, I guess shincha is quite effective in doing that. Is there a difference in flavor? Let me do a side-by-side again of this, because now I'm curious. There's some ice that formed during the cold brew process, but don't worry. So the short brew, 45-minute cold brew, yeah, is more tangy. It's got a little bit more like, the texture is more, you know, squiggly. It's more squiggly. It does more stuff. Yeah, it actually tastes kind of in the middle of a hot brew and a cold brew. Like there's more kind of bite to it. It's more crisp. I'm not sure which one I like better. I do feel like it's a little bit thin, just a tiny bit thin. I would like a little bit more of that kind of super, you know, super satisfying thing going on with a long cold brew, but it's really good. It's really good. Yeah, texture's thinner too. And this is the long cold brew. So see if it's worth it to do another, you know, extra almost 20 hours of waiting. You know, I'd have to say that the long cold brew, maybe I have to sit with it more, but I like the long cold brew a lot better. It's got more texture, it's got more depth, it's got more sweetness, but it is interesting how quickly you can get so much flavor in just 45 minutes. And if you want to preserve some of that kind of crisp shincha, like spring thing going on, the fast cold brew doesn't have that kind of like maybe overly sweet, overly soft thing going on. So yeah, that's interesting. Nice, 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 nice. Lion's question, what was different about how the quicker one was brewed? Nothing. It was just quicker. The same water, the same fridge, the same tea, the same amount of tea. Yeah, it's I'm surprised, honestly. They're both brewed in materials from IKEA. It's the same glass, you know, so I don't think there's a material difference. So yeah, that's it. And in both cases, I did shake the bottle before serving, so it's not an issue of the agitation either. Shincha is such a delicate tea that if you shake it or agitate it, it can change the flavor profile that comes out. So I don't think it's a difference there. So good stuff. So if you're in a hurry and you want cold tea without pouring hot tea over ice, seems like a pretty solid option. Okay. So Shiloh's answer here, the shorter cold brew still has leaf matter in the tea that hasn't settled. At least that's what I theorized after comparative tasting. I'm not sure how to explain it. I mean, the color is so similar. Again, you can see the color here of the two infusions. You couldn't really guess which one was longer, right? Just look at it. Which one is longer? They kind of look the same to me. I know this is a longer one, but just on screen, they look so similar, right?
Well, there's more floating leaf particulates in the shorter one.
Oh.
That's what he's saying.
Oh, you're right. What? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, so okay. So there's still more like bits. There's more bits still in the water for the shorter one. So that's causing the tea to be more complex and giving it more of that kind of like dancey, like squiggly texture. That makes more sense. So the more of these suspended leaf bits you have, I guess it's changing it to be a little bit more, you know, grassy and more, just more classic shincha tasting. Although I did shake this before I poured it, you know, but maybe, yeah, they've just gotten more weight, so they just sink to the bottom. So we don't have as much of those floaties going on. That's interesting. I didn't even think about it that way. Jeez. However, the faster infusion loses crispness and nuance. I actually got it more crisp on the faster infusion, but maybe that's a wording difference. There's a different texture for sure. Overall, I think I like the cold brew, the long cold brew better, but really interesting results. Like, I don't dislike the short brew. Wow, so much data taken. And in between it all, I'm still like, oh, that gyokuro from the Kyushu was so delicious. I mean, not gyokuro, what am I talking about? The ice brew. Because usually you ice brew with just gyokuro. So whenever I have ice in the Kyushu, I think it's gyokuro. But this is just shincha. So good. Okay. Let's slow down. I'm getting excited. Lion's question. What tea to water ratio do you use for your cold brew jugs? I don't have a set ratio. I usually do 15 grams for every liter. I've done that much in the past. But I think 10 grams is more than enough. Yeah. So 10 grams of leaf per 1 liter of water. Easy to remember too. Yeah. Who knew you could be so full of tea just from cold brew? Okay. Let's get this done. Last tea, hojicha, roasted green tea. We talked about this and then we got sidetracked by more shincha stuff. This is from hojicha.co. It's a dark roast. It's basically a hojicha. I mean, there's nothing like, it's not going to taste much different from the hojicha that you have at home. Unless you have like the really, really, really basic hojicha from like the supermarket. It's just solid, really good everyday hojicha. Smoky, sweet, dark, really good stuff. So let's try it. Let's switch it up and let's try it hot first. Ooh, big difference in the color. So this is cold. And this is hot. Ooh, we're about to run out of time. So I'm going to run that clock and then I'm going to hop over to the next live I've got 19 seconds remaining. I'm gonna end this one here, and then I'm gonna join you in another live in like 10 seconds. Wow, who knew that we could talk about cold brew tea so much? I was even like, how are we gonna spend an hour talking about cold tea? But here we are, having spent an hour talking about cold tea. Okay, so in the first half of this video, the first live, we brewed the shincha and the dragonwell, including this friggin' delicious, just amazing cold brew, ice brewed, shincha, which is still blowing my mind. This is why I can't concentrate anymore. This tea is just blowing my mind still. You want a tea like that, okay? Like, get your tea that blows your mind. Get you a man, get you a girl that blows your mind. That's so good. I'm still talking about it in the next live. We're not even drinking anymore. I think the ice will melt just enough for me to have one more infusion of it before we go to sleep. Or sign off. We're not going to sleep yet. But let's focus, Ree. Good tea is so distracting. Hojicha. Cold brewed, hot brewed. Let's try it out. Let's try the hot brewed first. Hojicha, we're finally doing a tea. I know you hopped in on the first stream. You're probably like, when's this girl gonna get to the hojicha? God damn it. But it makes sense. We went from lightest to darkest. So don't blame us. We're good. Dark roast hojicha, delicious stuff. Smoky. It's actually a very smoky hojicha. So if you like toasty, kind of on the darker side hojicha, you will really like this one. Sweet, just a tiny bit of sourness, but really, really balanced. But on the toastier side. So definitely a really good winter hojicha. Good stuff. Really good. Oh, it's so satisfying. I think it's gonna calm me down a little bit. That tea just got me so excited. Francois or Danielle, whoever is behind hojicha.co right now, have you guys tried cold brewing your hojicha? It's probably a stupid question. You probably do it all the time, but this is my first time cold brewing hojicha, so I'm really excited to see how it comes out. Leo from Ruby Lion, how's it going? Welcome back, Shiloh and Lion and Esther. Who knew we could talk about cold tea for this long? Okay, that's delicious. It's just so good. Let's try it cold brew. It's a beautiful color too. Much different from the hot brew. So I usually, when I brew it, it does come out this color usually. This is very light. And again, what's happening is that the light brew is extracting, or the cold brew at the lower temperature is extracting less of the bitter compounds, but also less of the compounds that cause color to occur in tea. This is just generalization. Tea is so, it's just so many compounds going on in tea, but that's primarily what's happening there. Lion, important question for science about the ice brew. Did you brew with the lid on or off? Scientifically speaking, I brewed it with the lid off because the ice could not allow the lid to fit on. There's still little stars are poking out. So I just left the lid off. I think ideally it's better to have the lid on to kind of trap the temperature, I think. I'm not really that well versed in what do you call that kind of science? The science of air currents, convection? I don't know. But if you brew with the lid on, you're trapping more of that cold air, I think, and just overall getting a more even temperature throughout the entire pot. So I would brew with the lid on, but earlier, before it all melted, the ice was poking up, so I left the lid off. So thanks for reminding me. I actually want it on. But I don't know which one is better, so we should try that. Cold brew hojicha. This is probably the one that's surprising me the most. I think it's a little bit too tart. I'm looking for that sweetness, and it's not quite there. Maybe give it a little bit more time, because as we did in the very first video, seems like more time I let the cold brew do its thing, the more I like it. But first impression, not my favorite out of the three. I'm a big sweet tooth, and so when I brew hojicha, I'm looking for that sweetness, looking for that depth, smokiness, and a lot of the sour flavor comes out when you cold brew it. That's just me, Steven? Quite sour, I would say. Maybe arguably a little bit more like citrusy, bright. More bright, more sour. Still kind of chewing on it. Not sure how I feel about it. I was hoping for more sweetness and more toastiness. So, yeah. And then a little bit of dryness comes out, which is not my favorite either. So, I'm very still out on this. So far, I like the hot brew better. Shiloh, I wondered if the roast would persist more so than the sweeter high notes when cold brewing. I don't get much of the roast in this. Do you? So both Steven and I don't get a lot of roasty flavors from this. I did want that because I like the taste of roastiness when something's cold. You know, it adds more complexity, but I feel like a lot of the roast, a lot of the smokiness is gone here, and all that's left is the sourness, which is not my favorite. Shiloh, again, I would imagine some more pungency, but we'll wait for the waves of flavor to make contact after several infusions. I mean, that's another thing too. Hojicha is a tougher leaf material, so, you know, hitting it with hot water really helps the leaves kind of just do their stuff. They're tougher, so it's harder for water to penetrate into them. And so maybe another infusion, another cold brew will bring out more of the flavors we want. But right now, I'm not loving it. Not loving it. Let's try the hot brew again. Let's compare. Still not loving it. There's a dry texture to the cold brew hojicha too, so I'm not really loving. Yeah, not my favorite. I wonder if just pouring the hot tea over ice might be better. I'm gonna use the remnants of my little ice pieces here. These were stars earlier, but now they've melted. So now they're pebbles. Because there is a difference between infusing the tea hot and then pouring it cold and just cold brewing it. Because I want more of the complexity to come out. Ooh, what am I doing? Don't pour hot water over the ice. That just melts it. Really stupid. Okay. So I'm going to try the hot brew, the hojicha, because a lot of the complexity I wanted from the hojicha is not there. And that's kind of disappointing. I'm going to pour myself a little bit more of this to see if I warm up to it more. Okay, let's see. Lion, all good here. Wish I could be sipping along. Why aren't you sipping along? There's no excuse, dude. Apparently you can cold brew tea in just 30 minutes. You know, you could toss some leaves into a mug and call it a day. No excuse not to be drinking tea, dude. If you can't drink it, just chew some leaves. I'm not serious. I just wish you could join us with tea. Shiloh, true, it will inherently be different. Oh, shinobi style ice hojicha sounds intriguing. So the shinobi style you're talking about is the ice brew over hojicha. I think that would be challenging because hojicha is so tough that it would be a little bit difficult, I think, for the water to successfully brew it, just drip by drip. So hojicha here, this is a pretty, you know, coarse hojicha. All of these stems kind of like to take hotter temperature water to get infused. So trying to cold brew this, and even more extreme, trying to ice brew this, I think is an uphill battle. You know, we should try it. I'm never gonna dismiss something just based on theory. But we would have to find a way to help the ice really brew through the tea, I think. Because there's a lot of goodness locked into these stems that I'm just not getting into cold brew. So maybe if you crush it up, or maybe if you use a hojicha that's more leaves, than stems, we could get some more, you know, success. But I'm not sure. I'm open to trying it out. Ester, probably we would have a more toasty taste with room temp. I often make cold brews that are more roomy brews. Roomy brews. Yeah, I think so. I make roomy brews too. I'm glad that there's a term for it now. I make some roomy brews. And yeah, it's kind of in the middle of cold brew and hot brew. Both complexity, you know, you extract some of the dry and bittersweet and, you know, interesting flavors out, but not as intensely as a hot brew. Yeah. Let's try this one more time. So this is a cold brew hojicha, 16 hours overnight. No, 20 hours overnight now. Okay, this is the only one of the cold brews that I like less as I taste it. I just want to go back to the hot tea. Steven, thoughts? Agree? Hot tea or cold brew is okay.
I still like it.
You still like it? Okay, well, here you go. Enjoy.
Thanks.
It's still good, but when it comes to hojicha, I guess I just really like that sweetness, that richness, the coziness, and this feels like, you know, it just doesn't have what I want in the hojicha. I think maybe if I'm just sipping it, you know, this is a sipping tea, just on the go, I'd probably be okay just bringing it with me. I was just so impressed by the level of complexity and nuance and just goodness in the other cold brews. This is it's just okay. It's not bad. See, that's the problem with, you know, serving good tea at the beginning and then kind of having lower results as time goes on. It's just not that impressive. The hot brew is a lot better in bringing out the character I want from hojicha, I think. Yeah, just my thoughts. Trekking Buddha, how's it going from Las Vegas? Then Lion, no, not that Lion. Leo from Ruby Lion. A lot of cats in this chat. Have you tried sun brewing it for giggles? I have never sun brewed tea. I don't know how to do it. It's a southern thing. I'd be interested to try it if someone could give me some tips as to how to approach it. Tino is Kai from the other side of the valley, and Avi from Thunderhawk. Nice to see you again too. Francois from hojicha.co. We usually cold brew the hojicha gold roast with the spring sencha leaves. See, like, I have the gold roast, but that tea is so good that I don't want to waste it. I definitely thought about it, and I was like, I'm gonna cold brew the dark roast. You know, I have more of it, you know, and the gold roast is just so tasty hot that I wanted to save it. But yeah, let's look at the gold roast. I was actually thinking about it. If you have higher quality leaf material, softer leaf material, it tends to do a little bit better with cold brew, I think. And look at how fine these leaves are. Oh my goodness gracious. This is their gold roast in comparison. See how fine it is? So I think we might have a better result with a cold brew of this, but then it's just so good hot brew too. Guys, don't make me cold brew this. Okay, I will. I just like it a lot. And this is very sweet as well. Just less toasty. You know what I mean? Hojicha.co, your gold roast is sweet, but your dark roast is toasty. And that rich, toasty, warm, cozy, like just kind of charming, like rustic taste just is lost with the cold brew, and it's just completely better with a hot brew. So maybe just not a match of the hojicha. I think hojicha has the unfortunate kind of like situation of people not understanding the different grades of it. Like dragonwell, people know there are different grades of dragonwell. People know there's different levels of pu'er, but people don't really know that there's different grades of hojicha. You know? Which is, you know, not our fault, not anyone's fault, but yeah, it's like, it's roasted, so there it is. But there's a lot of hojicha to kind of play around with. So I'll try that. Anything else that I missed? What did I miss? No, I didn't miss anything. So let's try the hojicha that was brewed hot and then poured over ice. So kind of in the middle, I brewed it hot to try to get the complexity out, and then poured it over ice to cool it down. That's pretty good. I like that. Yeah. I actually like that quite a bit. That's kind of what I wanted from the cold brew. It's just missing the toastiness, but again, it's not like it's bad. It's just like an everyday kind of like on the go cold brew. Whereas the dragonwell that we tried earlier and the shincha really, that we tried earlier, both from 2017, were just so much better for the teas. Especially the dragonwell made me so impressed with the flavor. I'm probably just gonna want to just toss all my dragonwell into cold brews from now on because it doesn't taste as good hot anymore. Sencha's good both hot and cold, and then the hojicha is just good hot from this experiment right now. So yeah, it's the results we got. And then I think I have one more steep of the ice brew in here. You can still see the ice kind of brewing inside. If you can't see it, you can hear it. That's gonna be amazing. Okay, any questions before I get going? I'm Delphine, nice to see you. Did I already say hi to you? Yeah, maybe I am tea drunk already. There's a lot of L-theanine in this. A lot of amino acids going on in my body right now. Like, I'm so full of amino acid, I'm gonna turn into a protein. Science jokes. I suck. Yeah, so maybe I'm tea drunk already. Leo from Ruby Lion. When is she not? That's just, you just underhanded. You guys suck. Okay. I'm feeling L-theanine. Okay, I need to drink this before I get even more tea hopped up. We'll do a little bit more of the ice brewed green tea from earlier. I did try this earlier, but the rest of the ice has melted. And Lion, join me if you're ice brewing in your teapot too. So me and Lion apparently have the same, you know, shape and style teapot, but slightly different finishes. So a little bit about this teapot that's been the star of tonight's cold brew or ice brewing. This is a shoryu pot, shoji umehara. So thin. This is like unbelievably thin walls. People think it's machine made because they're like, how is it possible for someone to get such a light pot, such perfect proportions? But it's still one of those pots that is just so excellently made, but still feels like it's handmade, and I just love it. It just makes green tea taste amazing, and this is where I do my ice brew in. Delicious stuff. It's a tokoname. Really lovely. And I like it because even if there's a lot of like ice in it, it's still light enough that I can just kind of maneuver around. Good stuff. So Lion, if you're brewing that up already, join me. Last little cup before we say goodnight. I just want to show you the color. Look at the color! It's like neon green yellow. This is ice brewed. And it's like viscous. You know, it's got a little bit of bounce of it. A little bit of bounce to it. English is so difficult when you're getting tea drunk. Whew. Very, very cloudy. All right, cheers. Steven, you should try this. Wow, that's like, it's like butter and fruit. I get some honeydew. I get some tea. Oh yeah, I should smell it, huh? Wow, it smells like the ocean. It smells like a fruit orchard by the ocean. I can't speak English, even if it's the first language that I speak. Wow, and the aftertaste is so buttery. I know I'm repeating myself because we had this in the first video, but it's so good, like really good. concentrated, just so many flavors. It's savory, it's sweet, it's buttery, it's umami, it's fruity. I wouldn't say it's flowery though. No, none of that. But at least that many flavors going on. It's so intense. Really sweet, but also not like sugary. And I've only taken like one sip. So if you feel like, oh my god, that's a lot of tea to brew with such little water, you get a lot of mileage from this. I've just taken a single sip, and I'm sharing this with Steven from across the table, you know, here, and really good tea doesn't take much to be satisfying, and this is so, it's just dialing it up. I wish you guys were here. It's so good. Oh my god. What's going on? That's so delicious. You know, this is also the first time I've ice brewed using the soft version of the Tea Curious formula. And again, if you're doing any kind of cold brewing, ice brewing, you know, brewing in general, right? But especially with ice and cold brew, the water is doing so much of the work for you. You need to use good water. And so in using a specific kind of, you know, the Tea Curious formula that I adjusted to be softer for this ice, just everything's working. It's so delicious. I should probably sign off before, like, you know, like, I just, yeah, let's call it a night. I'm having a good time. I'm gonna, yeah. The giggle's gonna come rolling around. The English is gonna go away. So I think it's about time for me to say goodnight. Oh my god. Okay. Thank you for joining us. This has been really, really fun. Mind-blowing stuff. Who knew that I could love cold brew dragonwell more than hot dragonwell? That's old. And that shincha it's just delicious. Let's not put words to it. And yeah, learning more about hojicha and the way it kind of interacts with water and its potentials through the cold brew. I'm going to try to use a different grade of hojicha next time for the cold brew. Just in a nutshell, so much learning. So thank you for joining us. So many boundaries to push. That's 3 green tea drink downs I've done. So much green tea that I've used tonight. Almost 100 grams of green tea that we've used in this experiment for this live. So I'm just knocking out my green teas. No more old green tea for Ree. I'm excited. Hey, you need to join us for Sunday's live. Sunday's live is gonna be insane. So we've been researching what to do with the rest of our green teas, and I came up with this idea. And at first Steven was like, what? And then I was like, no, never mind. It's too stupid. That's just ridiculous. And he's like, actually, we should do it. So guys, you need to join us for Sunday's live. It's going to take a little bit longer than an hour, I think. So we might have to try to put it on YouTube or something else. I don't know. But it's going to be crazy. And it might not work. Whatever it is. Steven's like, not letting me tell you guys. I really want to tell you what we're going to do on Sunday, but it involves green tea, it involves old green tea, and it's going to take a while, but it's going to be fun. So, and we might fail miserably. You should join us. So, yeah, it's going to be good. Like tonight was good. So thank you again from Las Vegas. I really enjoy your guys' company. It pushes me to learn more. I hope you guys learn together with us and have a good time too. Don't take anything I say for what it is. It's more fun to just do it yourself. Go taste tea, okay? Go drink some tea. Goodbye, good night, and thank you. Oh, tea's so good. Ugh, end this video already.